This week on Previews World Weekly, Kevin Smith brings his View Askewniverse to Dark Horse, Charizard sends a man to jail, and we discuss your spoiler-free, that's important, Batman reviews. It's all happening right now on Previews World Weekly.
What's up, Previews World? It's Wednesday. It's New Comic Book Day, which means it's time for Previews World Weekly. I'm one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
I'm your other host, Ashton Greenwood, a.k.a. the Duchess of Free Comic Book Day. Guys, here's your reminder. May 7th at your local comic shop. It is the first Saturday in May. Go there, get free comics. There's 46 comics. If you're worried about what those comics are, we have a whole list for you on the Free Comic Book Day website. If you're worried about what you're getting, we have a ton of new exclusive creator interviews going up twice a week, every week for the next couple weeks, so you can get an inside peek at what you're getting, and they are awesome.
I love it. You know what? Actually, Free Comic Book Day is definitely going to be geektastic, but you know what else is going to be geektastic? This episode of Previews World Weekly.
Yes.
We got Batman, we got Obi-Wan, surprise.
Whoa.
Right? All right.
Oh my God.
Transformers, Walking Dead, Conan the Barbarian, Pokemon. This show has it all. And so in order to make it officially geektastic, let me introduce you to Cannon Doll X, because she's always super hyped for this stuff. So
I got my Batman. I'm ready.
I like how you just randomly picked up a Funko Pop too. You're like, it's just here. I'm ready. I'm good to go.
Yeah. I was like, what Batman do I have close to me? Because on my desk I have predominantly female lead characters, and then down here I got a new desk, so it's like everything's all still mixed up and not even set up completely yet. But I've got this. I got my Batman glasses on.
Okay.
And I always got this. So
seriously representing. Everybody's like, I got people in the comment in the chat saying, hello.
What's up,
Natasha?
Dave?
Hello.
Bosnian09 saying, damn right, it's the best Batman ever.
We're right out of the gate with
do this.
Let's
do this.
Of course, referencing this week's thumbnail.
Yes.
You know, we're not going to dive into it yet. We're going to let you guys wait, because of course we want to give you guys a heads up in case it's supposed to be spoiler free, but sometimes these things go sideways.
I'm gonna do my best.
I'm gonna do my best. Please, I beg you. For do it for me and do it for Ashley, because we have not seen it yet.
We haven't seen it.
We haven't seen it yet, right? So we're just gonna throw that out there right now. We're not. It's not even for the people watching at home. Selfishly, it's for us.
All right. For my friends.
So, Cannon Doll X. Well,
Yes.
what's up? What's going on? I hear you got some cool stuff to show off.
Do you mean like my new show?
Yes.
Is that what
we
you
can start
mean?
with that. We can start with that. You also
What were you
talk
talking
about.
about?
We can also talk about this
what
Hawkeye
we've seen
sword
this week. Oh,
Yeah.
yes. Oh, actually, hold on.
Oh, I love it.
Yes,
I love the
I love
level of
it.
enthusiasm. I
I do. She's just bouncing right out of the chair and running off to like get the. I'm assuming she's going to show us this new Hawkeye sword. I'm assuming this Ronin sword. So let's see what the deal is. But anyway, yeah, we got a lot of cool stuff this week, guys, and definitely tune in, and definitely also like, follow, and subscribe. This is Previews World Weekly. You can find me at Previews World. You can find Ashton over at Free Comic Book Day, and that's pretty much on just about everything. Twitter, Facebook, etc., etc. We will remind you again at the end of the show, but it looks like we got Cannon Doll back in the mix.
All right. Sorry. You mean this?
Yes, I do. Oh wow.
So freaking cool.
That thing looks like it could decapitate somebody.
Yeah, that makes me nervous.
So it's really cool. It's made from titanium.
Okay.
So this blade is like crazy hard, and then this is aluminum. So it's actually really light.
Okay.
It's overall really, really light. And yeah, my husband and the crew at That Works made this.
Okay.
And him and my daughter did the demo, which was amazing. You can see it there in the beauty shots. It's gorgeous. Like this came out maybe better than the movie. Like,
I mean,
looks amazing.
It definitely stands out.
Yeah, it's definitely not a prop.
All right.
It's as sharp as my husband could get it anyway, because titanium. He went through a lot of belts, sanding belts, trying to get this to shape. And the demo is super fun though, because my teenager got to play the Kate role in it, and I helped film some of it, so that made me feel really cool. And
very cool. Actually, let's give them a shout out real quick. Like, where can they find this full video?
So YouTube.com. YouTube.com/thatworks. Just like you see on my husband's jacket there. Cool. But this part's also the hero. And she's a poser.
I was about to say, she's doing the pose and the hair flip. All right.
Yep. That's Sydney. That's my baby girl, my oldest.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to register. We're gonna have to register this as a lethal weapon. This thing is brutal.
Yeah,
very cool.
Little water cup flip there.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah,
definitely check that out, guys. Because Cannon, the Cannon Doll X family is doing cool stuff out there, guys. I love it.
We're not boring. That's for sure.
Absolutely not.
The best part is that demo was filmed outside here. So our neighbors are probably like, thank goodness this family is at the end of the street.
So actually, let's you know what, should we talk about Obi-Wan now or should we save it for later?
I have so many feelings.
All right, you know what, Johnny, if you're prepared for this, let's get this out of the way now since we're doing things we saw this week. The Obi-Wan trailer finally dropped today, and it caught us off guard. Ashton, just let loose.
Hold on, before we do this, let's address the elephant in the room that Natasha and her husband have a deal where they have to watch the Star Wars and the Marvels trailers together.
Yes.
So I'll be turning my volume down here for a second. You can just wave when it's okay to listen.
Okay. All right.
Here we go.
Okay. Right.
I love the dedication.
Okay.
All right, Ashton. Okay,
I was living. This whole trailer is amazing. I have to tell you right now, I cried some nerd tears. Like that's how into it I was. Like,
all right.
Because it immediately takes on this darker tone. Like it's very much it's most similar to Empire in its tone in that it's like, you take your heroes and they're down and they're defeated and they're just trying to like get by and scrape together a win where they can. So I think there's already an emotional impact from the start. It hits plenty of like key points of things you're expecting, like Uncle Owen and baby Luke, and like plenty of recognition with enough newness. And I love Obi-Wan and I love Ewan McGregor, and I just want good things for him. Please.
I mean, we know how this is going to end, but yes, I agree.
Well, we know how this is going to end in terms of like his untimely death, of course.
Right, yes,
in terms of this immediate like in between area between Revenge and A New Hope, there was so much that can happen there, and I think it's really interesting that they've kind of honed in on the Order 66 thing and this kind of continued search for all of the Jedi, because you have to know that you don't get them all in any genocide. You're never going to get 100% of the thing you're trying to eradicate. But like, I don't mean to be funny. I think it's super interesting that that's the angle they've taken, because there's so many things you can say and do with Obi-Wan because he's such a complete character. But I think that's fascinating to kind of hone in on, like, that's the thing they're doing, and then to take it a step further and say that like they specifically know that Obi-Wan is still alive, and then that's their like number one target. Yeah,
I love that. Actually, I think that's really fascinating too. Ken Dolek saying it's fun seeing Ashton's reactions without sound. I will say, Dave Brown wants to know when. That's all he wants to know, when. It's coming in May. It's coming in May, Dave. Do not worry. I'll just say this real quick. No freaking fair using the Duel of Fate score in that trailer. That's not fair at all. That's not fair at all. Absolutely not fair. Like, that's just dirty. Like, that just stirs up so many things in Star Wars fans. You know what I mean? So I'm all for it. Okay, we're gonna bring Natasha back. We're gonna stop now.
Okay.
Were you amused seeing Ashton just kind of flip out without sound?
Yeah, I was watching me excited, and then I had to just kind of like look around and look away because I can read lips. So I was like, oh, look, my nail, like. And then I saw, okay, it comes out around our anniversary, so that's fun.
Oh, cute.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah, May 20th is our anniversary, so I know what we're doing a week later. Yay!
Well, the only thing I'll tell you based off of what Ashton said is the trailer's good.
Okay.
Great.
Awesome.
All right.
I'll know later. I'll know in a couple hours when my husband gets home.
Okay. All right. So you don't have to wait too long. Okay. That's good.
No. Hopefully he's not working too late.
All right. Yeah. So speaking of things that are good, how about we focus that are good this week, right? That are actually coming out this week at your local comic shop.
Yeah.
It's time for New Release Wednesday. Ken and Doll X has her pick. Ashton has hers. I have mine. So let's get it. Here's what's out at comic shops this week. All right. You know what, Ken and Doll X? You are our special guest. So why don't you go first?
Okay, so in true toy person fashion, I chose an item of the toy variety. It's actually a statue of, guess what?
Batman?
Batman!
Okay, nice.
It's a gorgeous piece. There you go. It's a
wow.
polystone statue. This super detailed. This is not for the lower end collectors. This piece retails for about $350 and is worth every single penny. The details and the paint applications are just like, I mean, you can turn this thing like almost upside down and every little piece is going to have some kind of texture and detail to it. So it's a gorgeous, gorgeous piece. So that is my choice for the week.
All right, cool. And actually, I guess it's a good time as any to remind people that you can catch Natasha every Tuesday on Previews World with the Previews Toy Chest, where she gives you a rundown of everything available at your local comic shop this week. And we're going to start putting some of the DST Unboxed episodes on our feed as well. So
and those come out on Wednesday.
There you go. Right. Well, they come out on Wednesday on Diamond Select Toys. I think we're going to give DST a little bit of room, right? And then we're going to post it on maybe that Friday or something like that on Previews World.
Go into the weekend with some fun toys.
There you go.
Absolutely. All right, Ashton, what about you? What is your pick this week?
Okay, my pick this week is Headland from Fantagraphics Books. This is a little bit of a heavy hitter in terms of its subject matter. It's written and with art from Kate Schneider, so she tackles both. And she created this as a tribute to her late grandmother, which is really sweet. But again, it's a little bit heavy. So it focuses on this woman named Ruth, who's 95 years old and finds herself in an unfamiliar hospital after she suffers from a stroke. And so she's going through all of these different treatments. And as a way to kind of cope with her treatments, she creates this entire world in her head, and she retreats into this like fantasy land to, cope with her health issues. But as the days pass and she gets further into her treatment, she kind of finds herself struggling to differentiate between this fantasy land and her own reality, which I think is fascinating. And I'm somebody that's kind of guilty of using, internal narratives as a coping mechanism. So like, I'm sure I'll feel like a gut punch after I read this, feel terrible about myself.
I don't think you're alone in this chat right now, Ashley. That's okay. All right, cool. And that's from Fantagraphics, you said?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Keep an eye out for that, guys. Headland from Fantagraphic Books in comic shops today. My pick this week is hard hitting, but for different reasons.
Okay.
So I might not be the most well-rounded sword and sorcery fan, like I have to admit that, right? But I know what I like, and I love me some hand-painted chainmail magic, death, and destruction, right? So my pick this week is Ablaze's the Sumerian Hour of the Dragon. Yes. So Marvel has Conan, right? But from my understanding, so does Ablaze do some licensing shenanigans. And what Ablaze is willing to do is Ablaze is basically willing to do what Marvel can't. And that is go all the way with this. So especially with the barbarian aspects of Conan, right? So it's definitely bloody, definitely violent, maybe a little randy, right? But Hours of the Dragon is their latest one, and it's simply gorgeous. Johnny, if you could just throw up that image again. I just want to reiterate something here. This is interior art. Like that painted image you saw on the cover. These are the interior pages. This is the same artist on the interiors, and
so you're not getting catfished.
You're not getting catfish. We're going to start calling it cover fishing. I think we should call it cover fishing.
Yeah.
There we go. The interior art is just, oh my God. It's Valentine Secher. It's written by Elvis Julian Blondell. And I mean, just
that looks so cool.
Oh my God. Like, just look at it. Just for the art alone, pick it up. I mean, I really do think they're doing something special here too, which is the other aspect of this. Like I'm really looking forward to just kind of like falling into this and kind of just being mesmerized by this fantasy world that, of course, is created by Robert E. Howard, but also comes to us courtesy of Julian Blondell and Valentine Secher. So yeah, definitely check that out. It's available at your local comic shop from Ablaze. Ask about it. please do, because it looks really cool. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, Blaze has done an amazing job on the Conan books. I've heard people say that quite a bit. I've been posting about this past week because I also did an interview with the artist this on previous word, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But yeah, people are very happy with the Blaze Conan books. So definitely keep an eye out for it. All right, guys, you're about to see double. All right. Natasha's here, but she's also going to give us a rundown of the toys that are available at your local comic shop. Here is what's at comic shops previews toy chest.
Awesome. Hey everyone, Natasha here, and I'm going to give you a look at some of the new toys and collectibles in stores today. Here's your previews toy chest for the week of March 9th, 2022. Be sure to check with your local comic shop for availability. And to see more, head over to previewsworld.com/toychest. There you'll feast your eyes on more hot new collectibles.
I'd like to point out I'm wearing the same dress and
That's okay. Nothing wrong with that. You know, you're on brand. It's okay.
Right? Yeah. Who's that girl? Oh, it's me.
It's me.
Really
Right, exactly.
Double. Really
Actually, you know,
double
it's funny too. You guys couldn't see it, but Natasha's like acting out the video. I mean, look. I see. Of course, I post these, so I see these every single week. So I totally right there with you.
Yeah.
Jeremy Vass in the chat saying hello, everyone.
Oh, Jeremy Vass. That's my husband's best friend.
All right, what's up, Jeremy?
Like
what's going on? All right, let's switch it over to the news. Natasha, I'm going to invite you to jump in with your own commentary while we talk about this news. Like typically we kind of run through, well, you know, that's a lie. Typically we totally do running commentary as we do the news anyway. Yeah. So feel free to jump in if you something jumps out at you, but let's do news.
Oh, I was waiting for a Johnny comment.
No, Johnny was muted. He was still muted.
I was waiting. I was like waiting for it.
Wait, hold on. I was muted?
Yeah, you were muted. You didn't come through on that one.
All right, hold on. No. We're not going to do that. Go out like that. We're doing
do it over again. Do it again.
I am vengeance. I am night. I am news.
That was totally worth it.
It was worth it. It's going to be a very Batman heavy episode, I think.
Oh, my cheeks hurt already.
All right, Ashton, what's going on in the world of nerddom?
So Walking Dead is expanding their universe more. Skybound is working on a new Walking Dead project that focuses on Clementine from Telltale's The Walking Dead video game. And so it'll take a more in-depth look at Clementine's fate following the events of the Telltale game. So it expands their story out that way, but with an interesting twist. So Clementine runs into an Amish teenager named Amos who's fleeing his settlement. And so he explains to her that he's on a rite of passage in which young Amish people go out into the world. And he's hoping to build up a settlement for other survivors. But in telling her that, he also reveals that the community he's leaving kind of survived the apocalypse for the most part by isolating itself from the rest of the world. So you can kind of imagine that decision would kind of leave him somewhat naive about how things have been functioning during the apocalypse.
Okay.
So Clementine joins him on his journey to find more survivors and build this settlement. And this story will span 3 graphic novels. The first one comes out in June 22nd, 2022 of this year. But if you want a sneak peek at what this will be, you can get Clementine on Free Comic Book Day as one of the free titles if you want to get a jump start on that.
Actually, that's actually a pretty neat premise. I actually kind of think that's actually pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah, shout out to Skybound for that. And yeah, like you said, this is a YA book. This is a Walking Dead YA book. How do you do that?
I know. Like, you got to limit the amount of ridiculous murder.
Absolutely. I mean, or maybe not. Maybe I don't know. Some of these YA books go hard in the paint sometimes too.
I imagine I imagine you could if you got rid of the people murder, you could probably keep in the zombie killing, and it could still function as YA.
It's what, and actually it's funny. Natasha, back me up on this. It's the Saturday morning cartoon rule, right? You can't kill people, but you can kill robots and aliens and just as long as they're not human.
Anything that bleeds red blood.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah.
Like the Transformers would just murder each other every single day. Murder. All right, cool. Definitely keep an eye out that, especially on Free Comic Book Day. Clem was a beast in the game.
I know that game was insanely popular.
Yes, it was, apparently. I think it was actually one of the more popular ones, actually, next to some of the Marvel ones. All right. Where are my Gen Xers at? Who's here? Come on, Johnny. Johnny, you raise your hand too, dang it. So, okay. Let's see.
Ashton's like this.
Ashton's like, what? Who? What? When?
Where? They're behind me, aren't they?
So here's something for us, I think, specifically, right? Dark Horse Comics, along with Kevin Smith's Secret Stash Press, is thrilled to announce a new line of comics penned by the award-winning writer-director himself. Launching in fall 2022, the first title will be called Masquerade, an 8-issue masked adventure tale about a budding vigilante. That will be followed by something a little bit more familiar to some of us View Askewniverse fans, a book called Quick Stops, an ongoing anthology series set in the world of Smith's View Askewniverse movies, of course featuring characters from such cult classic films as Clerks, Mallrats, Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and more. Smith's plan is to expand the line to include titles from other creators as well, so it won't just be the continuing adventures of Jay and Silent Bob and the rest of their crew, right? Mm-hmm. This is syncing up with the 25th anniversary of Jay and Silent Bob's Secret Stash, which is Smith's comic shop in New Jersey. So that's also a cool thing as well. Actually, fun detail I got from when I saw this press release, I completely forgot about. Similar to Secret Stash, Dark Horse Comics started as a comic shop. I completely forgot about that.
Totally forgot about that too.
Yeah. And then they shifted to publishing. So there was a quote in there from Mike Richardson, who's the head of Dark Horse, just kind of saying it's kind of like kismet that this would be happening right now. But yeah, keep an eye out for Masquerade and Quick Stops in future issues of previews. Johnny and I were just talking about this. I think on the show, we were recollecting about the Clerks comic by Jim LaFood and Kevin Smith. I'm hoping that they reprint some of those books. There's quite a few of them. I think there was a Mallrats one, a Jay and Silent Bob one, and a Clerks one, of course. So yeah, keep an eye out for that in future issues or previews. You know what? I have a question here real quick. I'm going to throw this at you real quick. Do you guys want to talk about Charizard last? Because I feel like that could go in a lot of directions.
LOL. It's hilarious, so I think we should.
Okay. All right. Johnny, you okay with that? You okay if we move it to the back? Okay, cool.
Sounds good.
All right. I'm going to jump into some more Transformers talk real quick. This is the last bot standing. So we've joked before that there are a lot of dystopian takes floating around in comics right now, and actually just in media in general, right? We had The Last Ronin, we have Old Man Logan, which is making a resurgence right now, Marvel. There's The Last Vampire Slayer. There was the Batman one, Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo did not too long ago. Transformers are getting into the mix. Who will be the last Cybertronian? This May, IDW propels fans into the far-flung future with Transformers Last Bot Standing, a 4-issue miniseries by Nick Roche and E.J. Sue. The war for Cybertron is long over. On the planet Donect, a shape-shifting robot falls from the sky. This Transformer is stalked by the sins of the past and must save the world one final time. E.J. Sue is calling the book a proper farewell as the IDW creative team concludes their time on the IDW Transformers universe. And this is available to pre-order right now in the previous catalog, and it has a release of May 2022. So also something to keep an eye out for. All right, Charizard.
Really quick, was that a Transformer in a cape?
Yes, it was. It was Transformers in a cape, which is also that's also kind of like a trope, right? Like you're in the post-apocalypse, you wear a cape that I guess but even though it's always in the desert
for no reason at all.
So anyway, But yeah, definitely a popular topic right now in comics. All right, yeah, let's get into this Charizard thing because I think we're all going to get a good laugh at this. Ashton, fire away.
It's weird. It's super weird. So a Georgia man has been sentenced to 36 months, 3 years, 3 whole years in prison after using COVID-19 relief money to purchase a rare Charizard Pokemon card. He was awarded an economic injury disaster loan totaling $85,000 after he claimed to own a small business that supported 10 employees. But then he turned around and used $57,000 of this small business loan to purchase a Charizard card. And then, because it's not bad enough already, he turns around and sells the card and gets caught. Because that's super cool.
Wow.
Dum-dum, like a big old dum-dum.
So. That's some greed right there.
That is.
And then
and stupidity.
Now the Charizard card is in the hands of the government. Right. He had to turn it over.
So no one has it.
No one has it.
No one will ever see it again.
I know right now, because this show, of course, is about comic shops. A lot of comic shops got that disaster relief. Well, like tried to get the disaster relief loan for their small businesses. So I know right now they're all like just calling this guy every name in the book.
Yeah.
Especially if you didn't actually get the disaster relief funds. That's absolutely awful. Thoughts on this, guys? I mean, come on. This is
so
amazing.
Dumb.
It's so stupid. You know, the part that makes it the most stupid is why would you sell it? Like, that's how you get caught every time.
Every single time. Yeah, we've seen this before.
What's the thought process to get to that point?
Right.
Yeah,
like, what in his squirrel brain thought, hey, I should file for a loan and then use that money to buy a Pokemon card.
From the government. The government. Like, if anyone's going to catch you and get their money back, it's the government.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Government don't play.
No, absolutely not. Just amazing. That's just an amazing story. And you're right, Ashton. Every time these guys get busted, it's because they try to flip it and resell it.
Yeah.
Like every single time. We saw this with the the college that had their archival comics stolen. We've seen this so many times.
Yeah.
So yeah. But these stories always make great topics for news because wow.
Yeah.
A big old dum-dum.
Yeah.
Troy, if I could interject here for a second, because you know what? In this week of unintentional segues, who actually has like a copy of that you could buy? Hakes.
Yeah, you beat me to it. You beat me to it. I was actually I was going to use that segue. Very good,
nice.
Johnny. Very good,
nice.
actually. Yeah, I was going to say, you know what? Who also has a Charizard that you don't have to pay $50,000+ for? Hakes Auction. Although, maybe you do. I don't know. We haven't seen the most recent bid. So yeah, TikTok guys. Bidding's about to conclude. So here are some items from the latest Hakes Auction happening right now. Check it out.
Hakes Auctions is the premier source for all manner of Americana and collectibles, and auction number 234 is now open for bidding. Here are some of the amazing items that you can find over at Hakes.com. Be sure to check out the full auction by visiting Hakes.com. Closing dates for items in auction 234 are March 15th through 16th. Hakes, America's first collectibles auction house.
And as Johnny so politely told you, yes, the auction ends next week. So get on it, guys. TikTok. We showed you everything already from G.I. Joe figures. We showed you some like Snake Eyes figures from the G.I. Joe, the original G.I. Joe run. Star Wars Boba Fett figures from your childhood. And yes, Charizard, which is going for how much, Johnny? What is the price on that right now?
The sword just fell over.
Oh, no.
That's not what you want to follow.
It's 5,500.
Okay, and it's valued at 20,000.
Wow.
Yeah. So like looking at the article that you were just talking about, it says that this was a 9.5 mint rating. So the one on Hakes here is a 9 mint. Now I don't know if that's a different year based on what that guy bought, but you know,
it's a 1999.
This says 99, and then there's another one down here based at Charizard Gem Mint 10.
And a 96.
A little bit of a differences there, but yeah. Oh yeah, first edition holographic, 4 out of 100. Yeah, so all the information over there at Hakes.
I want to know who was going to buy that card, man. I really do. I'm very curious about that, actually. All right. I think it's Social Swamp time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. All right. Well, how about this? Let's try our. You know what? We're not even try our best. We're gonna talk about the Batman.
It's gonna be messy.
Spoiling anything. So let's get it. Batman time.
Okay, so like Troy said, we are going to discuss the Batman. We've asked you guys to give us your spoiler-free reviews, okay? That's the most important phrase here, spoiler-free. It's been out for less than a week. Keep it to yourself. So let's see what you guys had to say. Eddie says, I felt like it was amazing and perfect in its pace and timing. I loved it, and I especially enjoyed Pattinson. Just the perfect blend of build and acting. He made me believe he could do everything he did.
That is true.
Alexander says, if you love the tone and style of the Arkham games, but also love the stories and art styles from the comics, this movie is for you. If you only know mainstream Batman, you will like it, but find reasons why it's not your favorite.
Good one.
Tanner says, I was skeptical, but Pattinson turns out to be the perfect young Batman. I'm excited to see where this new franchise goes. Ashley says, I think one of my favorite things about the movie was the score. The use of music was so good. Jonathan says, about 45 minutes too long. Though I must say it's definitely one of the best Batman movies in the sense of character development and execution. It did feel a bit like the story dragged on a tad too long. Looking forward to the sequel. Drew says, best Penguin on screen.
Oh, okay.
That's a hot take.
That's a hot take.
It's a noir psychological thriller more than it is a superhero movie. Well done.
Okay.
Steve says, spoiler. Snape kills Dumbledore.
Always one guy.
Always one.
Always one guy.
All right, this is the one, Ashton, I was going to tell you about. This is great.
Hilarious.
This is like straight out of Watchmen. So it is 1989. I am 8 years old. I am watching a darker, grittier Batman movie. It is 2005. I'm 24 years old. I am watching a darker, grittier Batman movie. It is 2022. I'm 40 years old. I am watching a darker, grittier Batman movie.
You know, so here's the thing, right?
That math is off.
It is. I noticed that too.
Is it
because in 1989 I had just turned 9 years old. In 2005 I was just about to be 25, and it's 2022 and I'm 42 years old.
Oh, okay. I see. It's a little bit off. Well, assuming this person is the same age as us, but you know, whatever.
Yeah, like almost exactly.
Right. No, you know, so the thing I like about that, actually, just offhandedly, real quick, is it kind of proves that there are so many interpretations of Batman. Even when you're still trying to say, "Oh, I'm trying to go darker and grittier," there's still so many interpretations of what that means to certain types of people.
Yeah.
So I'm curious, both of you.
Well, we have one more, Troy.
Oh, we got one more? Okay.
One more. This one went off the rails.
Oh, God. All right, Kenny, here we go. Second time I've tried this place. The chips are the worst I've ever had at a Mexican restaurant. Stale, cold, worse than anything you buy at the grocery. Did I mention cold and stale? The rest of the meal was okay. But why would you serve stale, cold chips? Just terrible. Have to pass on a return. No one could eat the chips. What a letdown again.
What is going on here?
I'm lost.
I'm sorry. I don't care if they're trolling. It was just too funny to not include.
Again, there's always one.
There's always one.
And then someone responded to that. It's like, well, based on this review alone, I need to see the new Batman movie. And then the original poster responded, bring your own chips.
All right. So, Gary, let's do it. Like, Johnny, Natasha, one of you go for it. Like, let us know. What were your spoiler-free thoughts?
I'm going to say ladies first.
Okay. So, spoiler-free thoughts. One, how do I do this? This is an adult comic book movie. Okay. And what I mean by that is not like it's adult, like it's the way it's told, the scenes, the progression, the scenes of stuff is absolutely an adult comic book movie. This is what you read as an adult and then see on screen. This was amazing. The only way, like, I tried to describe to like my brother who asked me, and I was like, I'll just tell you, perfection.
Oh,
it has, yeah, like as a Batman fan, this was beautiful. As a comic book fan, this was beautiful. As a action movie lover fan, like this was beautiful.
Good.
So many aspects of it was like, oh my gosh, like this. I mean, my husband leaned over to me so many times going, oh my God, I love this. Oh my God, I love this. And he is super picky and super judgy with things. And like, you know, well, and him being a cameraman and producer and things like that, like the way things are shot and whatever, but he just kept going, oh my God, I love this. And I was like, just grabbing his arm. And like, there was also little Easter eggs in the movie. As a Batman fan, like hopefully you catch on. If not, like you can watch videos later and find out that you're just like, oh my God, they put that in, or this, or like, you know, little stuff. And again, back to my point of adult movie, like I took my daughter to see Deadpool. She was, I think, 6 at the time. I will not let her see this until she's a bit older. Because it's so intense and it's so good, and it's so good. It's so good. Right. See it. Don't, whatever level of Batman fan you are, see the movie. That's
all right, cool. I'm going to jump in here real quick. We do have That Works, actually.
That's my
saying, love the story and the movie, and I want to see more and more in this world. Love that Robert is such a fan of the role and loves being Batman. Like, absolutely. Yeah, actually, that was one of the amusing things. I know initially when he was announced, Pattinson, was accused of being too small and not working out for the role. It was like a lot of weird stuff that was kind of coming up.
Same thing happened with Gal Gadot and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Now everyone's like, oh my God, that's Wonder Woman. Right, you know, give people a chance.
Right. Well, I mean, I say that just to say, like, you know, then I saw an interview recently where I think it was him and Zoe Kravitz were like, oh, he was just he was literally just trolling the fans. Like, that's all he was doing.
Amazing.
It was like 2 years. It was like the longest troll ever. It was like 2 years ago. He's like, oh, I'm not working out for this role. No, I'm not doing anything, you know? And then everybody got upset. There was like 1 million hot take videos on YouTube about it, and now he's just sort of like, no, of course I was doing that. What are you guys talking about?
Let me tell you, like, one comment that said that you believe it, like you could believe like the stuff that he does in this movie, the way he's built, the way he moves, you 100% believe it. You don't question it. It's not campy. It's not like, oh, like, well, that's a stunt or like whatever. Like, it's believable. It's like you just, and the movie is 3 hours, but at least for me, I didn't even notice. Like, you were I
did feel like it was a little long.
You thought it was a little long, Johnny?
I thought it was a little long. I feel like they could have trimmed down some of it a little bit, but overall, it was a great movie. First of all, Paul Dano is Riddler. If he is
Riddler, yeah.
If he does not get an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actor, there is something wrong with the Academy. Yeah. He is so good. The score, someone in the comments mentioned like the soundtrack.
Oh yeah.
The score is, I don't know if you would say with this, Natasha, but I felt it was very minimal but highly effective.
100%. Yeah, absolutely agree.
So
absolutely agree.
There is an overarching theme that kind of carries it, and you'll hear like it's the same kind. It's the same kind of 4 notes that we hear in the trailer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Carries out throughout, but the way they change
but it hits.
It hits.
Yeah.
And the last thing I'm going to say, I never thought I'd be so hyped for the introduction of a car.
Yes.
Yes. And I'm just gonna leave it at that. But
yes,
I think Natasha pretty much said it all. It's like it was a great film. It's like the thing is, it's like every time another one of these films comes out or a new iteration of a pre-existing intellectual property, it's always like, oh, this is the best one yet. This is the best one yet. This is the best one yet. I think time's gonna tell where this kind of sits in the overarching zeitgeist of like all the Batman films. But for what it is, it was an amazing film.
So okay, let me ask you real quick. Where does this rank? Well, maybe this will get to your next statement, Natasha. Where does this rank in the Batman movies list?
Top.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow.
Just immediately top. Okay,
Top.
wow. Number one. What about you, Johnny?
Top.
It's hard to say. It's like the newness of it makes me want to put it like way at the top.
Mm-hmm.
Although I still remember the feeling of how I felt when like I saw The Dark Knight.
Oh.
So I don't think it's had enough time to kind of like settle with me. And like, I've only seen this one once. I've seen Dark Knight a whole bunch of times. So I mean, there's things about it. Like I said, I feel like it was a little long, but I think it's easily like number one, number two.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, you know what, guys? Hopefully next week I'm shooting to get my view on this weekend. So I will hopefully have a reaction for you. What about you, Ashton? Are you planning to catch it this weekend or anytime soon?
Probably this weekend. I don't have any plans yet, so maybe like a matinee. That'd be cool.
That's what we did.
Yeah, that's what I'm like. And once I found out that it's legit,
it was like sold out.
Yeah,
right.
That's
Like, we got like the last 2 seats together when I bought the tickets.
Oh, wow.
I'm thinking even like the weekend after that, it probably would be pretty packed on like a Saturday night.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well, my strategy, I shouldn't be telling you guys this, but my strategy is to go Sunday morning. Like first show Sunday morning, sometimes like it's like 10 a.m.
Yeah.
But especially with like a 3-hour movie, I'm just like, I just don't have the bandwidth to go any later. So so yeah, definitely plan to see this. I thought it was really interesting that they didn't put it on HBO Max, and they opted to put it in theaters 100%.
Really
and
happy they didn't.
I'm in that boat. It's funny. I mentioned yesterday to Ashton and Johnny, I saw West Side Story, and I'm kicking myself for not seeing that in the theater, because it's clearly a movie meant to be seen in the movie theaters. And I feel it's the same way with this. But I thought it was really interesting that kind of paid off, because the movie like racked it up at the box office this weekend, The Batman. So, I think it's really interesting that it seems the only movies that people are willing to get COVID
superhero movies and nothing else.
And superhero movies and nothing else.
That's so terrible.
I mean, look, I'm going to go.
I will die for Batman.
I mean, I'm going to go. I'm going to go this weekend, so I'm right there with you. But I just think that's really interesting that those are like the surefire bets for these studios right now. Like nothing else. Like not even like, The Matrix, no. Kingsman, no. But you know what I mean? So anyway, I do want to give a quick shout out to something I saw that I'm excited for this week. That is actually another DC property. That is actually the DMZ trailer dropped. It's coming to HBO Max. DMC was like a Vertigo series, like in the mid 2000s, I want to say. The book was.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, look at that. The book is hella pressing. And it deals specifically with an organized militia overthrowing the government, and Manhattan ends up being caught in what is essentially a civil war.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah, it's the comic was actually written by Brian Wood. The artwork was by Riccardo Bercelli, and a bunch of other artists kind of joined the book as well. They did an interesting thing with this trailer. Well, for this show, it seems like, which I actually kind of support, which is kind of rare. They removed the main character from the comic and focused on the supporting character, and that is actually the character of Dizzy, who is Rosario Dawson's the character of Rosario Dawson is playing, it seems like. At least what I can tell. There was a photojournalist who got dropped into the DMZ in the comic, and was kind of like our avenue to discovering this, this dystopic world. But yeah, it seems to be focusing on her, and I think that's actually kind of interesting and kind of cool. So yeah, looking forward to this, and hopefully it's received pretty well. It actually just looks interesting.
Yeah, look, so, I was like staring at the screen.
All right, let's get into the weekly poll. Ashton, what is this weekly poll?
This week's weekly poll is all about getting angry about things. So
perfect.
Right. So today is National Get Over It Day.
I forgot about this. Sorry,
no. Oh, no.
We asked you guys to tell us which hotly debated movies you feel fans need to just get over. And your choices are Zack Snyder's Justice League or The Last Jedi.
All right.
So get over, like, you need to just deal with it.
You need to just stop talking about it. You don't need to be on Twitter every day yelling.
Need to complain about it anymore. Or
just move on, guys.
Just trying to grasp the get over part.
Just move on, and just to be a complete and total troll. I'm actually going to repost this to Free Comic Book Day right now. So I'm into to Previews Roll right now.
I haven't checked in on this since I posted it, so I have no pulse on what's leading.
That's fine. That's okay. Like, I'm actually want Johnny to jump in on this, and I want us to go down the list. You know, which one do you prefer,
hold on,
guys?
I want to make sure that like there's no like comments and stuff like that. Okay, we can share everything. So.
Nothing. No. You know, yes, absolutely a necessary evil. Right, exactly. All right, so Natasha, which one do you want people to just get over?
The Last Jedi.
Emphatically,
just because, like, well, with Snyder's Justice League, like, people either love it or they don't or whatever. But so many, I mean, we know how positive Star Wars fans can be.
They're the best.
Like, The Last Jedi is like, I'm still hearing people complain. Well, I wanted this or I expected this. Okay, well, it didn't happen. Like.
Right.
Get over it. Like,
yeah.
Either you enjoy the movie or you don't enjoy the movie. You know what you do when you don't enjoy the movie? Don't watch the movie.
You get over it.
You get over it. This is you. This is it. This is you. Over it.
I think Ashton feels attacked right now.
Yeah.
Does nothing at all. Okay.
So that's my opinion.
All right, Johnny, what about you? Where do you fall on this?
Justice League.
Okay. All right. Any particular reason?
Yeah, well, just because of like for years.
Release the Snyder Cut.
Release the Snyderverse. I'm like, oh my God. I get it. You have a voice on the internet.
Bro, and the thing is, like, for so many years, like, just on random days, Release the Snyder Cut would trend, and it would happen like once a month.
Yeah, no, absolutely, for years, right?
All right, I might want to change my answer then.
What about you, Ashton? It seems like you've already made up your mind.
Do you know what? I think I honestly was thinking The Last Jedi for the reason being, I wish I could personally get over it. Like, I would love to get over it. But it makes me so angry. It makes me so angry. I would love to get over it. I would love everyone else to get over it. And I would love nothing more than to not have to hear another argument about why it's the best Star Wars movie to ever exist and better than Empire and kiss my butt. I wish we could all get over it, but we can't.
This was actually a really tough one. Normally, I'm a little kind of like, all right, I can make a real easy choice, but I'm gonna say the Snyder Cut. I'm gonna say Snyder's Justice League, I guess I should say. There's all these weird conspiracy theories that come from that conversation, and people getting so into the weeds about it, and it's just a new layer of hostility that I think just makes us all look bad. Like, I think that it's. People disagree about The Last Jedi, and I've seen that conversation going on way too long, right?
Yes.
But you've never heard really Star Wars fans say, restore the Lucas cut.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Exactly. Right.
No,
yeah.
that's a fair argument. And it's like the Snyder Cut thing is weird because it's just such an amalgamation of like various bad takes. And you have like the Batman fans that are being weird. And it's just a lot.
No, it's funny with Star Wars when they released this George Lucas like retooling of like the original trilogies. People were like, no, give me the old stuff. Let's go back to what we had.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm saying that we go to Justice League. Are we good with that?
Let's do Justice League. Let's see.
Oh, 39%. 61% saying Last Jedi.
Wow, The Last Jedi. Okay. What do we got? We got some comments we can show.
Masters of the Universe Revolutions. They were literally sending death threats to Kevin Smith.
I mean, that is definitely out of hand. Like, that is most definitely out of hand. Also, let's just say, no more death threats, guys. Like, I need you all to chill. Like, this is one of those things that's not even new to the internet. They've been doing this forever. When they killed off Gwen Stacy in Spider-Man, they were sending death threats to Marvel. Like, chill out, please. All right, what else we got here?
You could also add No Time to Die.
Oh, boo.
Though that community isn't as toxic, caring as the other two. Frankly, they should all get over it. Man, it's a good thing poor Joel Schumacher Twitter wasn't around when he made his Batman.
I know, right?
Oh God.
Joel Schumacher would have never made another movie again, if he had done that. So, and Joel Schumacher's a great filmmaker, So anyway.
You're not going to put me in the cooler.
And it's not defending Batman and Robin, by the way. I also want to point that out. The movie's awful. Yeah. Batman Forever is actually pretty good. All right, let's do Comic Shop shout out. What's going on this week, Ash?
This week's comic shop shout out goes to Back in Time Comics in Brantford, Ontario. Comes from Chris Coiler, and he says they put on a fantastic free comic book day event last year. He's looking forward to seeing what they have in store for this year's free comic book day.
Yay.
All right, cool. Free comic book day.
May 7th.
If you want to, yes, thank you. May 7th. If you want us to shout out your local comic book shop on the show and give them some love, find us on social media, tag your shop. If they don't have a handle, just leave their name and use the hashtag support your LCS. We'll find them, shout them out on the show, and give them some love.
Some more soft non-spoilers for the Batman. The best part was people staring into the shadows. Powerful, sucking into the world right off the bat. No pun intended.
Okay.
Or maybe the pun was intended because he capitalized.
It's capitalized, yeah.
The cinematography and the score, big heart emojis. I
wow.
love that.
Okay, so that's now the third person that's mentioned the score.
Yeah, we've talked about scores on this show before. That's Michael Giacchino. I am a fan of Michael Giacchino. Like he's kind of like Danny Elfman and John Williams, like fused together. And so I'm definitely a big fan of finding out what he's going to do with this score. All right, let's wrap it up, guys. I guess this is about it, right? We're at the 51-minute mark. I want to remind people to like, follow, and subscribe. You can hang out with me at Previews World, and that's pretty much across the board: Twitch, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, right? Which you're probably watching right now. And Ashton, where can people find you?
You can find me at Free Comic Book Day on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Come hang out, tell us your nerd opinions, and also get an inside look at all of those great comics you can get for free on May 7th.
All right. And Natasha, where can people find you?
At CannonDollX at all of the social medias, TikToks, Instagrams, the things in the place with the guy. Not the guy, just me. It's just me. Or just CannonDollX.com, which links you to all the things, including my show DST Unboxed, which I show great new stashes and collectibles that are hitting your store shelves.
All right. Yeah. And actually, I just want to remind people you can catch CannonDollX every Tuesday on Previews World. And we're also going to start showing some of the DST Unboxed videos on Previews World's YouTube as well.
And I want to note, don't forget to always stay through the credits.
Yes, absolutely. There's some fun bits at the end.
There's some outtakes and bloopers.
Right. Absolutely. Real quick, I'm gonna give myself a shout out.
Where can we find you, Troy?
Well, not so much where you can find me, but at Previews World. Thank you, Johnny. But on previewsworld.com right now, I have 2 interviews. I mentioned earlier the Sumerian, which is of course my pick this week. I got to hang out with Valentin Sischer, and look at that. I mean, look at that. Wow. He gave me photos of his process. Like the man is making paintings.
Wow.
Like legit. Like if you're a fan of guys like Alex Ross or Asad Ribic, you should definitely look at and pay attention to Valentin Sischer. Like just amazing stuff. And he like kind of gives me a glimpse into his process and shows me some really cool artwork. I cannot recommend this comic enough. Cool. I haven't even read it, but I want to read it. So definitely keep an eye out for that. Also, I did an interview with actually another artist who does kind of a painterly style, Ibrahim Mustafa. He has a book called Retroactive that's available to pre-order right now through Previews Catalog and through Previews World Pullbox. Ibrahim is doing this cool thing where he's doing like a time travel story where basically each nation has their own like Black Ops time unit.
Time cops.
Right? Right, basically, right? Time cops. And so it's kind of become a war for history. And so like basically people are changing history on top of changing history on top of changing history. It's nuts. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, that's Ibrahim Mustafa and it's Retroactive. We have some preview pages in there as well as the interviews, so definitely check that out. And that's available to pre-order right now. All right. That's it for Previews World Weekly, guys. I've been one of your hosts, Troy Jeffrey Allen.
Nice pause. I'm your other half, Ashton Greenwood.
I literally ran out of breath. I was like, I'm talking a lot. Let me get back into it. And our special guest,
CannonDollX.
Okay, all right. And hey, guys, we will catch you all at the Spinner Rack. Catch you next time.
Don't forget that you can catch Previews World Weekly streaming live every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific at Previews World on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch.